It was the kind of July evening where the heat did not leave when the sun went down. The kitchen windows were open, but the air coming through them felt tired, as if the whole house had been holding its breath since noon. The room that bothered me most was the small back room off the kitchen. Every old house has one. In winter it is too cold, and in summer it holds the heat like a closed jar. By supper time, that room always smelled shut up, even when the door had been open half the day. One evening, I stepped in with clean towels and stopped just inside the doorway. The room was not only warm, it had that stale heaviness that makes you want to back out before you know why. My mother saw me standing there and said, "You are trying to cool the room before you have let it breathe." That was how the old women talked about air. They did not speak first about temperature. They spoke about whether the bad air had a way out and the good air had a way in. A fan can move bad air around all night, but if the room is stale, the fan is only stirring the problem. That is why this setup matters. It is not an air conditioner. It is a way to treat the air as it enters a room, before that air spreads across the bed, camper, coupe, or back room that always smells closed up. The setup costs about $7 if you buy the materials new. It uses a shallow pan, clean water, and activated charcoal, the loose black granules sold for aquarium filters, not barbecue charcoal, not grill briquettes. Activated charcoal is the only kind I mean. The reason it works is old and plain. When air moves across a damp surface, some of that water evaporates. When water evaporates, it carries heat away with it. Wet hands feel cooler in a breeze than dry hands do. That same principle was used in kitchens, barns, and porches long before electric cooling became ordinary. But charcoal adds a second thing. Activated charcoal is full of tiny pores. Those hidden surfaces give odors and stale compounds a place to cling. Air passing over it does not become perfect, but the sharp edge can come out of it. The dampness helps take heat from the incoming air, and the charcoal helps take some of the stale smell from that same air. The mistake almost everyone makes is where they put it. I made the same mistake the first time I tried it. I set the pan beside the cot because that was where I wanted the cooler air. But the room barely changed because the air entering from the window never passed over the charcoal. The next evening, I moved the pan to the window itself and opened another window so the air had somewhere to go. It did not turn cold, but the room changed. The air stopped feeling trapped. The sour edge softened. This is not a bowl you set in the room. It is an intake. You put it where the fresh air enters, a window, doorway, vent, coupe opening, or cracked camper window. If the air does not pass across the damp charcoal, the tray is only sitting there. Here is how to make it. Take a shallow tray or pan. It should be wide, not deep. Pour in activated charcoal about 1 inch deep and spread it flat. Then pour clean water over it slowly. Let the charcoal drink for a minute, then tip off the extra water. You want it damp all the way through, like a wrung-out sponge. You do not want a black puddle. If you want it to stay damp longer, lay a strip of old cotton towel across part of the charcoal and let one end sit in a small cup of water. The cloth will act like a wick. Then place the tray at the incoming air. If the breeze enters through the lower half of the window, put the tray there. If the sill is too narrow, set a small stool just inside the window. The air must cross the tray before it enters the space you care about. Be honest about climate. Evaporation works best when air can take on moisture. In dry country, the air is thirsty, so the cooling is stronger. In moderate humidity, the change is gentler. In very humid places, the cooling is limited. The honest promise is small but useful. It takes the edge off incoming air when placed correctly. Use this only where air moves through. Open window, open door, open vent, cross breeze. Do not put a large tray of damp charcoal in a tiny sealed room and shut yourself in. The tray is only one part of the old summer routine. In the morning, while the air is still cool, open the house and let it breathe. Before the day heats up, close the sunny windows and pull the curtains. When the outside air drops below the air inside, open the windows again. Put the tray where air enters and give that air a way out. Before you spend more money trying to fix one bad room, try the cheap test. A shallow tray, activated charcoal, clean water, cotton if you have it. Place it at the intake. The plain rule is this: hot, stale air sitting still will wear you down. Air that enters through the right place, crosses a damp surface, passes over charcoal, and has a way out becomes easier to live with. That is summer sense.